On the eve of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we leave you with a story highlighting the search for the owner of an old photograph rich in symbolism. The picture was found in a Milwaukee neighborhood, perhaps fittingly by a fair housing advocate who's working to eliminate racial disparities in a city recently identified by the Brookings Institution as having the highest black-white segregation in the country. Pauline Lee takes us on her quest to find Dora.
Down Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, on Milwaukee's north side,
It's a treasure.
lies the hopes rooted in the American dream.
I think it's seen a lot of change over the years.
Corey Schneider-Perugini works for the Metropolitan Milwaukee Fair Housing Council.
This neighborhood around us, at one point, this is the only place black people could live.
She says so many here are still working to make that dream a reality.
Disparities on almost every indicator are horrific for race. There's so much work to be done.
Potential here still lies in the shadows of its past, one she was reminded of while on a walk one September afternoon.
Right alongside this part of the sidewalk, and it was near a tree.
Many would just keep walking, but not her.
I don't know, just looked like something. I'm a treasure hunter by nature, but this is one of my favorite treasures.
On the other side of that small, crinkled piece of paper, a beautiful woman, tainted in time.
Well, I thought, well, who is this? I can't tell if she's in high school or if she's in her early 20s. I'm guessing it's from the 50s or 60s, and I don't really know that era very well.
But what she did know was the 50s and 60s were the height of the civil rights movement, a time when many no longer wanted decisions made based in black and white. And the more she thought about it, the more she wanted to know about it.
It took on a much larger meaning for me, not just a cool story and wanting to know who the woman was, but like the symbolism of our history of segregation and how this woman and a white grandmother of mine or aunt of mine would have never had the same life because of different restrictions.
They say every picture has a story. And for this one, it starts with the very first word written on the back, Dora.
I don't know how to reach a lot of people.
Corey was hoping social media could write the rest by finding the picture's owner.
Have you ever found something on the street and wished you knew more of the story? Today I found Dora on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. The photo looks to be 60 or more years old.
It was posted and shared on Facebook.
Most people talking about just how pretty she was.
Many also read about it on Reddit.
35,000 views on Reddit.
But nearly 4 months later,
A lot of people hoping it makes it back to the right owner.
the threads of likes and comments have stopped. Dora now stays on Corey's nightstand for the time being.
Anywhere else, I know, I've got a crazy life. I know she'll get lost. So this is a fairly safe spot where I can kind of keep her in the back of my mind and keep her safe.
Safe, with the hope that one day, this temporary caretaker of a memory years gone by will someday get to hear the real story of Dora.
I have hope.
I think it goes back to that meaning beyond the meaning. And it's a story of our, of a lovely woman of color who lived in a time where things were not equal for her, yet she has this beautiful look on her face. I'm really excited.
Inside the new Sherman Phoenix Market on Milwaukee's northwest side,
I just thought, I can't believe this.
Corey Schneider-Perugini has been patiently waiting.
Just thinking about meeting them. This is one of my favorite treasures.
Waiting for the moment she was hoping would happen these last 3 months.
Right alongside this part of the sidewalk, and it was near a tree.
That's how long it's been since she found that old photo lost in time and place on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive.
I can't tell if she's in high school or if she's in her early 20s.
That's how long she's wondered about the story behind the woman in the picture.
I'm guessing it's from the 50s or 60s. It took on a much larger meaning for me, not just a cool story and wanting to know who the woman was, but like the symbolism of our history of segregation.
This is a fairly safe spot.
She's kept it safe ever since, on her nightstand or tucked away in a small book she carries with her, always with the hope that she would one day be able to return the picture to its rightful owner. And now the wait is finally over.
Are you William?
Yeah, William.
I'm Corey.
Oh, glad to know
Nice
you.
to meet
Same
you.
here, same here.
That picture belongs to 90-year-old William Waddleton.
This is my son. Yeah, my granddaughter's coming too.
Tiara's coming in. There you go.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
This is Dora,
She was a joy in my life.
his late wife.
Since she's been gone, I think I cried about 10 buckets of tears. And when you showed it on TV, it's, oh God, that's that picture. And then we looked all over and we didn't find it. And he said, no, that's got to be the picture.
Dora passed away at the age of 92. Her family was in this area of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, preparing for her final goodbyes. That's when they somehow lost the picture. Corey picked it up the next day, and little did we all know, it's just the start of one special story.
I'm glad she was able to find it because her name was on the back of it, Dora, right? And I put it on the back of that. That's my
Oh, you
handwriting.
wrote that?
Yeah,
Okay.
She was 20 years old when she made that picture.
William and Dora met in Milwaukee and married in 1954. Together, they fought for what was fair, both in color and in community.
I was in a civil rights march.
Did you do the fair housing marches?
Yeah.
With the
Father Grappi?
Father Grappi?
At a pivotal time in Milwaukee's history, when the city's neighborhoods were segregated by law, he and Dora chose to teach their children what's right is not always black and white.
So you marched with your kids?
Yeah, open house I did.
Yeah,
Open house
I love
did.
that.
Yeah, I had 3 at that time.
Oh, wow.
And each one of them had each other's hand walking across the 16th Street viaduct. They didn't allow any black cross 16th Street viaduct, so we got halfway and the police stopped us and we had to go back. And everybody, the whole family thing, it was a whole family thing.
The fact that you did the fair housing marches, and that's what I do now.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's my job. I've been working for the Fair Housing Council for
Oh, yeah?
20 years.
Oh, yeah?
Dora broke barriers in the classroom as a teacher's aide for nearly 30 years.
She said, if you got that desire to do something, you can always do it. I can't think of anyone that she didn't help that they didn't benefit from her advice.
So I wish I had been able to meet her.
That was a saying. I do say.
That sounds very Southern.
Yeah. She was a Southern girl. She was an inspiring lady, you know.
But perhaps their greatest accomplishment was the loving family they created.
We were married 64 in 10 months. 3 kids, 6 grandkids, and 2 great-grandkids.
She's beautiful.
Corey may not have gotten to meet Dora in person, but meeting her family and learning about the life she lived brings new meaning to the phrase that there's a story behind every picture.
Thanks for sharing with that picture with me for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
I know you didn't mean to share it with me, but you did.
Yeah, I'm really glad you've seen it, you know.
It doesn't have to be lost and then found on a sidewalk, just discovered by people who care.
I feel like there's probably something larger. The world is speaking to us in a larger way. It might take me a couple days to figure out what it is, but. I love it.